Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the new cup with the Galar cup, as the leagues have rotated a little bit. We're going to be featuring the Shadow Quagsire with the Clefable and the Shadow Drapion back. So we're going to switch out into the Clefable versus this Diggersby. Diggersby does go for the Scorching Sand. Scorching Sand here gets let go. We avoid the debuff, which is a good start. We go for the Moonblast. We get the attack debuff. So we have initiated the debuff, which allows us to potentially take this out with another Moonblast. Let's see if we are going to get that through. We do get that through, and that's going to allow us to flip the switch a little bit. They go into their Weezing, we go into our Quagsire, they counter swap into the Oranguru, and then we have the Shadow Drapion for this Oranguru. So it looks like they do tank the first move, and it looks like they're going to be able to throw a move here. We're going to let this first one go because it potentially could be the Trailblaze. There's the Trailblaze. We're going to fire off our own Aqua Tail here. It's going to be shielded, so our opponent is electing to try to win this. But we're going to match the shield, and then we're going to fire off the Aqua Tail here. This Aqua Tail will get this last shield, and then it looks like we're going to be able to get to an Aqua Tail again. And it should take it out. Yep, there it is. And then we're going to switch out once they have the Weezing come back in. So GG's to our opponent, able to win that game kind of by alignment. They had a little bit of a chance when they had their Diggersby come into the Clefable, but luckily we were able to flip that switch. So terrible leave here. We're going to switch out into the Drapion. They go into their Weezing. The Weezing here is going to have to tank this move. It does tank the Aqua Tail. We're going to be able to fire off another Aqua Tail here pretty quickly. This is going to get it low red, and we can shield here and potentially farm down. Okay, they do go for the play rough, and now we're looking for the farm down. We do get the farm down, which is exactly what we wanted. What is that? A Pangoro? They're going to come in with their Pangoro, and we're going to fire off the Aqua Tail immediately. We're going to switch out into the Quagsire, and they were trying to catch a move, but we were patient with it. We're going to go for the Stone Edge, and we do grab that shield. Our opponent here is going to be able to throw a move right before we get to the next Stone Edge. We're going to let this go. They do elect to go for the Shadow Ball, so they do get the KO. And then we're going to be able to get to a potential crunch here right before they get to their move. This crunch does get this last shield, and then our opponent here elects to go for a move. We're going to let this go. Icy Wind takes out the Drapion. We have the Clefable lurking in the back here. We are going to, let's see what we do here. We're going to allow the first one to go through. Yep, Icy Wind does get elected, and we're going to go for this Moonblast immediately. It barely doesn't take it out, but it is going to face this Pangoro, which is going to be weak against this Clefable. They elect to go for the Nice Slash, but all the moves from this Pangoro traditionally are going to be resisted. We do use the shield correctly. We come out with the energy with the charge move, and we throw the Moonblast right back at that Driploom. So GG's to our opponent, able to come back from that terrible Driploom lead, and we were able to wiggle out of that situation. So that is the power of the team. We have the Quagsire kind of protected by the Drapion, but the Clefable kind of coming in clutch there, doing most of the work and closing the game for us. All right, here we go. We got the terrible lead again against the Driploom. We're going to switch out here into the Drapion, and they are going to match us with their Quagsire. This is a hard counter here, unfortunately, but we are going to be able to fire back with the crunch. We do get the debuff. We try to get to another move, but they are aware of that. They go for the move immediately, so they have revealed the Mud Bomb Quagsire. Mud Bomb Quagsire easily takes out that Drapion. They're going to go for the Aqua Tail afterwards. So now we know they have Aqua Tail and Mud Bomb. So here we're going to either shield or let this go. We decided to shield it and farm down and come out with that energy. We're going to use the Quagsire with energy and go for the Stone Edge. They decided to let it go, and now we're going to switch into the Clefable here versus this Diggersby. Diggersby here is going to be very tanky. We're going to fire off the Moonblast. Does not get the debuff though, so we're going to have to win this game with the Clefable with no shields at this point. We're going to fire off a Meteor Mash right here. This is going to get the shield, or it's going to get some good damage. They decided to shield it up. They're going to be able to get to another move here. Scorching Sand does get it elected. We're going to switch out immediately here into the Quagsire. We're going to fire off this Aqua Tail. This is going to get the shield, and they're going to have to use a move here pretty soon. Okay, nice catch by my opponent. they are going to catch this energy onto their Driploon, but we needed to throw the move anyways because that Driploon would have been able to probably farm down our Quagsire. But because of that, they are going to come back in with their Diggersby and come out with some energy and throw it back at our Clefable. So GG's to our opponents, unable to win that game. Kind of a tough lead and switch in, so it was as close as it's going to be. Here we go again with the Driploon. We're going to switch out into the Drapion. Our opponent here is going to farm some energy and then switch out into, what is that? Okay, their own Drapion. So interesting that they matched our Drapion with their own Drapion. We're going to go for this Aqua Tail here, get it into the low red. We're going to shield once here so that we could potentially tank a move and farm down. We know that this is not going to take us out, and then it allows us to farm it down with some good energy. They're going to come back in here with the Quagsire. Okay, so Quagsire here is going to shield once. We unfortunately don't get the debuff, so we're going to have to come back here with the spammy Quagsire. We know that they have the Driploon still, so we're going to have to build up some energy before we throw that move. Quagsire goes for the Aqua Tail. We're basically even on health. They go for another Aqua Tail right here. We know they're relatively dry, and then our opponent here elects to switch out into the Driploon. We're going to allow the first one to go through. Ends up being the Icy Wind. Icy Wind debuffs our attack, but we are able to survive it. We go for the Moonblast. This Moonblast does some good damage. We're going to switch out here into the Drapion, but unfortunately, we are not going to be able to win that right there. The Drapion was farmed down, and that is GG's right there. So, unfortunately, unable to win that game, but we're going to see if we can end up on a good note here. The Clefable with some energy seems to be pretty decent here. We are not using the Swift. We are using the Meteor Match, by the way. All right, we got the Quagsire versus this Mandibuzz. Not necessarily the best situation. We try to catch a move right there, but our opponent looks like are going to be throwing the more efficient move. Hero Ace does go through. We're going to fire off this Aqua Tail. This Aqua Tail does some good neutral damage, but even with the Mandibuzz staying in here, we are still able to survive the next move. We're going to go for this Aqua Tail, get it into the yellow. We're trying to get it in the range of a farm down potential. They go for another Arrow Ace, take out our Drapion, but funny enough, they have no answer to the Drapion, it seems like. So we're going to go into our Quagsire immediately, go for the Stonish, take out this Mandibuzz, and then see what they have in the back. Our opponent is going to be thinking, okay, they have the own Drapion in the back, so this is interesting. We're going to fire out this Aqua Tail right here. This is going to get a shield from our opponent. It looks like they are going to be able to reach a move here. We're going to shield this first one. Ends up being the Crunch, which is fine. And then we're going to try to catch a move. Potential Crunch? Nope. Ends up being the Aqua Tail. So, unfortunately for us, we did not catch the inefficient move. They decide to be patient and switch out. They go into their Quagsire, and then we're going to go and fire out the Moonblast. We're going to think about shield here. Nope, we're going to let it go. We're going to fire off the first Aqua Tail. The Aqua Tail here does take out the Quagsire, and now we have the Quagsire onto the Drapion, but we are going to be able to fast move down. So GG's to our opponent, able to win that game with the Quagsire. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.